Hello everyone and welcome to the very first episode of Hibiscus Tips. In this series, we'll get a little bit more hands-on. I'll talk about things that are better to show you than they are just to talk over myself sewing about. So, in our first episode, we will be going over mystery bags. Mystery bags are a great way to get rid of old merchandise, things that never sold. With mystery bags, never have unsold merchandise again. You can also make things specifically for them. I'll do that with the pony cons. I'll make Paris Brights to put in them, and it's a great way for some of the younger people or some of the people low on money to get something. And also sometimes I will just, at Intech, I'll just have my pre-made jellyfish keychains in there. I charge pretty much the same amount that you would if you were getting a keychain, and then I just throw in a button and a sticker. So that's another thing you can do too. Plus it makes pretty much the exact same money, and it's a great way to get some sales from people that wouldn't normally buy your keychains or your plush or whatever. Because right now, loot boxes and blind boxes are very popular, but it goes back even further than that, packs of baseball cards or Pokemon cards, different things like that. People love the mystery. They love the gamble. They love that risk and reward system. So the grab bags, granted that you'll be using older merchandise for them mostly, unless you're making things. Usually when I make things, I'll make them the Wooloo, where it's just very simple, very easy to do, embroidered with 2 pieces of fabric. Nice and simple and easy. The main cost is going to be the bag. Now, it's raining, and I don't want to trek all the way out to where I keep my con supplies right now while we're in these virus times, and I'm not using them. So, this is the bag that I'm using. You can tell it's beautiful. It's a beautiful little, that's kind of what they look like. The main cost is going to be the bag. Now, with the bags, I tend to splurge a little. Now, recently, AC Moore is going out of business, so I cleaned out all their little bags. But generally, you want to get a nice, appealing looking bag. Pretend this is a nice, appealing looking bag. Usually, I'll get a bag that has they used to have these ones at I think it was Joanne. They had little flower designs and stuff on them. Those are great. Solid colors are great, and with the solid colors, you can also draw a picture on them. I usually like to draw a picture of what the plush is in the bag, so then that way if someone says hey, is that what's in there, I can say yes, and then they get the plush. Usually I'll draw if it's the Wooloo, I'll draw a Pokeball. If it's the jellyfish, I'll draw a surfboard or a beach or something like that, or just draw the jelly. So something related. Now with that, you want to be careful of your wording. I had one where I had a Heartless plush in the mystery bag, and someone asked me, oh, is that Kingdom Hearts theme? Because I had drawn the Heartless symbol on it, and I said, yes, it's Kingdom Hearts theme. I thought that was a fine way to say it, because the main draw, the plushie that I put inside, was a Kingdom Hearts plush. I was trying to clear out my stock because it was getting near the end of MagFest. Well, when she opened it, she was happy with the Heartless plush, but the other stuff inside was not Kingdom Hearts, it was not Kingdom Hearts themed. She was not happy about that, and she made that known that she was not happy about that. So ever since, I have been very careful with my wording of certain things, which is with anything, really. The most I did was I just explained that it was the theme of the plush, and that I misunderstood her, just was truthful, it was fine, she was annoyed, but something to think about. Now, you have your bag, and usually what I do is I'll have, the main ones I do are the smaller ones, and usually I'll do $10 for them. Sometimes I'll do $8, especially if it's the last day. And then at the furry cons, I have just little things in there, because usually I'm doing a vendor table, and so it's not something I made myself in there, and those I'll do for $5. You want to make sure that the people feel like they are getting a value for it. So when I charge that, it's I would normally charge this $10 for this right here, but you're also getting the buttons and the stickers and everything. So you know, that's a good value to them. So what I put inside of this myself is, like I said, the plushie that goes in there. I'll put 2 buttons. Now with the buttons, I will have, these are nice buttons, but I like to make buttons when I do vendor tables for, like, I make them out of like Pokemon cards, or that was made out of a magazine, manga, things like that. I like to make upcycle buttons and then have them like in a dig bin for $1. They sell like crazy. Not something you can really do at artist alley tables unless you're like making the buttons yourself. I have like a big dig bin. Try saying that 5 times fast. A big dig bin of like buttons that I have made myself there. But yeah, at the vendor booths I have just like, I go crazy. They sell like crazy. And afterwards I'll go through them and then I'll see like, oh, this one doesn't look so great. This is probably why this one didn't sell. And I'll put those aside for the mystery bag. So it's a great way to get rid of those things as well. So we got the plush, the buttons. I usually like to do a sticker. Usually it's a sticker I made. Like I drew and made this right here. And then my friend like touched it up and colored it for me because I'm not the best at all the computer stuff. I will sometimes do store-bought stickers in there as well. Just depends. Like for the My Little Pony conventions, I usually go to Target and they have a big like sticker book of like 500 stickers, and then I'll put like 2 stickers in a mystery bag. And that's really great. And then I usually like to put in a something extra. It can be a piece of candy, or I will usually do Pokemon cards. I'll put like a Pokemon card in it. As you can see, this came from Ed McKay. Freddy, that was my cat. He is behind me and he is loud. These came from Ed McKay. Ed McKay has like these huge dig bins of cards, and you can go through them and you fill up a bag and then it's $10. So I'll usually pick out like some good ones to make buttons out of, and then I'll go through and I'll be like, oh, this one might not sell as well. That could be for the mystery bag. So that's what I usually like to do. And so as you can see, you got a good variety of items in there. It's a nice hefty bag. And then I'll close it. With the ones that have the handles, I like to do staple, staple, staple. So that way they can't like peek in and see what's in there. For the lunch bag style ones, I just like to fold it over and staple it once because that's harder for them to see through. So that's what I put in there. The reason I put these is because when I advertise the mystery bags, I make a sign, and usually I'll say, mystery bag, question marks all around the sign, $10 each. Inside is 1 plush, buttons, a sticker, and more. And the and more is the Pokemon cards. It's a technicality, but there is and more in there, and more makes people want to buy them even more. Even though the true value of that is the plush you're getting for a discount and all the other items are kind of a bonus, it still helps people want to buy it to see that and more. So I like to put that there. Now, I had mentioned candy. You can put candy in there, but for those candies, do not do chocolate. Do not do gushy, melty things like that. Skittles are out. I like to do a Dum Dum. You can get a big bag of those for like $10. That's a good idea. And you can even put like the extras in a bowl on your table, start a conversation that way. That's fine. But the main reason you don't want to do like chocolate or gooey candies is because you want to be cognizant and respectful of other artists that are around. One thing that a lot of people that have the bowls of candies have found out is if you give someone chocolate, they will eat that chocolate. It can get on their fingers, and then when they're handling other people's stuff, like, oh, look at this, chocolate on it. And then sometimes you can't clean it. Like if this has chocolate on it, this is pretty much just toss it, it's done. There's nothing you can do if this thing has chocolate on it, really. I can't sell it after that. So, you know, you don't want someone to be the reason you have chocolate. It's easier to pull like a Dum Dum off and get the gooiness off than it is to get chocolate stain. So a lot of people have said that that is very helpful, to not have that sort of thing. Another thing you can do is like the little Japanese gummies. I'll get those sometimes for like anime conventions and put them in the bags. Those go over really well, and they're not likely to get very gooey and gummy because it's one gummy in each bag, and pretty much you pop it in your mouth and you're done. But yeah, never do chocolate. Respect other people's booths. Now, your mystery bags you will find will sell best on Sunday. The rest of the weekend, you might not even see too many sales. Usually you'll get a few here and there, but you might not even see them sell that much until Sunday, because Sunday is when the people that have been holding on to their money want to make their last purchases before they have to go home. So a lot of times, I have seen it so many times, people are just loading up on mystery bags because they just want to get the most bang for their buck, and they love that mystery. They love that like thrill of not knowing what's in there. They can get home and they can open it up. It's a nice little special. And some people will even buy them for their friends back home too, because like, hey, here's a nice big thing of things, and if they don't know what to get for their friends, it's perfect. So, it'll sell so well on Sunday. And that's also a great way to, it's not so much a big deal for like print artists, but for like plush artists. I come in with like huge IKEA bags. I used to do trash bags full of plushies. And so I want to sell as many as possible because that is less that I have to take home. So, I want to get as many things as I can in mystery bags, sell mystery bags as much as I can. So that's a great way to do it. I actually found out about this because I was doing a con that I don't normally do, and I didn't know that like the artist alley is hit and miss depending on your location, and I was unfortunately in like the middling range miss location. So I was trying to figure out something to do because I had all this merchandise and I wasn't making too much, and I didn't want to make this at loss con. So I actually went to Walmart, bought some lunch sacks, and then worked all night on like drawing on the lunch sacks. And the next day I was just putting merch in there. I had made a ton of little plushies, and I just put merch in there. I put buttons in there, different things, and they sold like hotcakes. And that is actually how I was able to make my costs and profit, which was great. One good thing with drawing the picture on the bag too is that way people can kind of get an idea if that's something that they'll like. They are less likely to feel cheated if they like kind of have an idea of what they're going to get. So that is one good thing to do. You want to make, and you also want to make the bag so, you're not just throwing garbage in there. So, if a lot of people will open the bag right in front of you, you want to make sure that what's in that bag is still a good representation of you, even if it's like slightly imperfect. So that way, if they're opening it in front of you, you're not going to be embarrassed. If you have a bag where you're like, oh, I don't want them to open this in front of me, you don't want that bag. Some merchandise, even though this is a great way to make sure you never have, leftover unsold merchandise, sometimes some things aren't fit for the mystery bags. And that is a lesson I learned while doing it. I had something that seemed like a good idea at the time, but I found out that a lot of people did not find value in it. I think it was like, I did like little Tamagotchi ones. People didn't really understand what they were looking at. So, I learned, and I learned how to make better mystery bags. A big one that I'll do, especially for like MagFest, I will make little Game Boy keychains. Those work great too. And one last tip with these mystery bags, I had said, mentioned doing the Pokemon cards and store-bought stickers. You don't want to go more than that. Like, for Halloween one year, I had a con that was during Halloween. I bought little spider rings, and I thought that would be a really cute idea because it was Halloween. Well, between the spider ring, the sticker, and the cards, the person actually found my square and left a review saying that they felt like they had gotten Dollar Tree garbage in their bag. And it sucks because I know which bag they got, and they actually got one of the keychains, but it was all that little stuff in there that made them feel like that they didn't get a value. So you don't want to overload them with things. Don't just like go to like the dollar store and find like erasers and, spider rings and everything. You're not making a grab goodie bag for the kids. You're making a product that you're trying to sell. Now, like I said, you want to make sure this is a value for them. You don't want to be at cons. Sometimes you'll see these booths in the vendor hall, and oftentimes they will be selling like eggs, like big eggs, and usually they'll say like, oh, dragons inside, or you'll be or they'll have like the big boxes that look like question blocks or companion cubes. Unless you really are digging that box and you want to buy it just for that box, you don't want to be buying that you don't want to support those people, because they are putting the bare minimum. The egg ones, they'll say like 10 items inside. You'll pull out 8 items because they're counting each half of the egg as its own item. It's not a good value. They are literally tricking people into spending a lot of money. I've seen it happen. I saw it happen to a family that was really not deserving. So I actually mailed them a free grab bag that I made myself, because I just felt really terrible that they got tricked like that. So you don't want to be like one of those, and don't support those, and encourage your friends to not support those vendors. They're not great. The egg ones are awful. The box ones aren't as bad. You'll sometimes find pops and stuff in those, and it can be a value. It's pretty much the same as what Loot Crate used to be with those. You know, it's a lot of stuff that you're never going to use and isn't really worth it, but it's still fun enough that you don't feel like you completely wasted your money. But those eggs, people, just avoid the eggs. But hopefully this was really interesting and helpful to you. And hopefully my cat meowing in the background wasn't too annoying. But yeah, this is just how I do my mystery bags. You might find a better way to do yours, but this is what I have found that worked for me. Also, if you like this video format, let me know down below. And also let me know some suggestions for future videos you would like to see in this format. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and take care.